Hi everyone, Johnny J. McKenzie here, back with some JMAG Acting Studio. Again, it's online right now, every Sunday over Zoom. I do in class, I guess, until I get big groups. Like I said, I'm in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, so there'll be a time where I have some space with a friend of mine, Justin, who has his own what do you call it, amateur community theater, children's theater school company where we do children's plays. I worked with him a couple of his plays, but him and I go back like at least 20 years ago. We were in a play together doing children's theater. So he did children's theater shows. So we've done that before, but he has his own studio now, and I helped him find it. I'm a co-founder, co-original founder, co-owner of the studio back then, so I could use space there if we have a group scene study course. So we want to do on-camera scene studies of scenes. We can do that there once we get a group in Winnipeg going. Maybe on a Tuesday, Wednesday night. Usually it's a good 2 hours to do. A group of maybe 12 people, 10 to 12 people. You pair it off and then you go over scripts and scenes. But we're going to cover every topic, the nature of the business. And anyways, it's all going to be different. But right now I do the Sunday Zoom classes. And that's why I also put some here on YouTube. For people that want to learn, they can just go on my YouTube and they can learn here as well. And you can, message me there through LinkedIn, through my messages there, where you can get on a Sunday Zoom class from 6 to 7 every Sunday, where I cover every different topic from film studies to history to character to memorization, whole different number of things. So today, quickly, I'm going to go one specific topic. As I mentioned, I always do a specific topic. Today is specifically what is acting? What is acting? What is it? What is it by definition? What is the actual definition? And what is it we do and how does it work? We sit there and we have this term acting. So who's acting, who's not acting, what's acting, what is it by definition, what's the term, what does it mean, how can we explore it? So I have a book that has the actual definition written exactly word for word based on the definition of acting, but I'm not going to use the book. I read the book. I read all the books, different books. I got about 3-4 different books on the craft. Plus a screenplay book. I got lots of books on the craft, and in about the industry as well. I've got all kinds of different stuff. But I'm going to put it in the most basic terms because I don't want to follow a book. I don't want to go word for word for the book. But acting, I would say, I'm going to use part definition and part just what it is in concept. Acting is listening and reacting to stimuli, and within imaginary circumstances, in an imaginative, creative way, to get a point across to time, to person, time, and place and thing, in order to get to solve a problem. So it's really just listening and reacting to a stimulus, and it's living truthfully in imaginary circumstances in a dynamic and creative way. So if we want to say it's listening to stimulus, living in imaginary circumstances in a creative and dynamic way to get a point across, to get your character objective across, to solve a goal and to solve a problem in this imaginary world. So, for instance, where you are, your imaginary world becomes your real world. For example, if you're doing a play and you're in New York City and you're in your New York apartment, and you live on the third floor in this bachelor suite, and your neighbor is this crazy guy that's always partying, making noise at night, and there's this, all these things are happening. That is your imaginary circumstance. So the script will say this is where you are. So now you have to, in your mind, put yourself there as that's your new real life. And when you're doing the play, it has to be believable to the audience that they believe you're there. So that means that you would have to have your makeup apartment memorized. So you have to go around your fake apartment, your new apartment, your new life. You have to go through all your props. You have to know where you're sitting, standing, where everything is, and you got to play with it all. You have to move it all around. Make sure it has to seem like you've lived there before. If this is your apartment, you lived there. It can't look like this is the first time you've been there. It's your opening night and you're walking around and a little bit sketchy, a little bit worried about what you're going to do next or where you're going to sit next. So your phone, your makeup bathroom, your makeup uh, bedroom, your makeup closets, whatever is your apartment that's made up as flats, whatever's there has to be natural, has to be like you've lived already for a long time. So you got to get familiar with your set imaginary world. I mean, even movie script. It says you're in Iowa, you're in Ohio, you're in California, you're in this city, you're in a city, in an apartment or house. These places become your new real life. The character you're living is a real character. So whoever you're playing, if you're playing, um, I don't know, a 40-year-old police officer and he's in the forest and he's a detective and he's in the crime unit. So you got to go and you got to find out, what it would be like to be a detective. You got to go research being a detective. You got to research police. You got to research some terminologies and terms that they would know. You have to go how they would think, what they would do. You got to research your character. This is who you are now. So you are Detective So and So. And the trick is you say your name in the first person. I'm Detective So and So. You believe it in your mind and you think it. And that is what you do for that as far as making it your new real person. Because it's you reshaped, right? It's your person. You personally are reshaped into the character. It's not you doing a character. It's not you doing a character. Like it's not I'm playing a character and that's it. It's you reshaped into the character. So you're living truthfully in imaginary circumstances, and it's you reshaped into the character. It's not just playing the character. It's That's why if you see a character done, you could see, um, for example, if you gave, say, you gave four people the same role or the same monologue. Say for instance, you gave four people the exact same monologue, so it's the same characters, the same everything, and you told four people to do it. You'd get four different interpretations. They get all the right nuances and they get all the right points of what the scene is, or what's the point of the character, what's he saying, what's he doing, what is he believing in, what's his objective, what's his goal, why is he talking to this person. He's talking by himself, but why is he talking to the so and so person? It's got to be somewhere in there. What's his purpose? They'll get all those things correct. All four of them will get those things, but you would see that all four of them did it differently, slightly different, because their natural personality is in the character. It comes out. Your natural facial expressions. Some guys have this twitch about them, or this kind of reaction that they do, or they have a quirk about them. So you're gonna have that. You're gonna see it four different ways. So you reshaped in the character, and you become the character, and then but you have to know his history. You have to know where he's from. You gotta know where he lives. So that whole imaginary circumstance is your new real life. You got to have him in your mind as first person. So when I do that, um, I talk in first person. I don't say, "Oh, I'm Johnny J. McKenzie playing character of." It's like I am character. Detective Winters. I am Detective Winters. I live in New York City. I am part of the gang unit. I like to help my city. I am the one that is the hero here. I'm the one that cares about my city of New York. I'm the one that sacrifices my life for these people because these are my people. This is my community. I lived in New York all my life. And you believe it and you think it, even though, of course, I've never been to the United States. I mean, I've never been to New York. I mean, I'm a Canadian actor. I live in Canada, but I've never been to New York. But I have to say that I am, and I make myself believe that I am. So I would get some images in New York. I would probably get some photos. I would get some idea of what it's like. I'd probably research it a bit, and then becomes my new reality that I am. So if you speak in the first person, that is such an easy way to get to your character. I mean, how does he walk? How does he move? Everything. So you do the whole character development, and then that whole thing becomes your new reality. So that is taking care of the imaginary circumstance thing and your character, how that You're living in that new, real, temporary life for however long it is, for a whole movie, for a play, for an hour show, and you do that 6, 7 times. But that's your new reality. That's your new family. Those characters, those people, is your new family until the show run ends, right? Then of course you have your wrap party, and then you guys go your separate ways. And sometimes, unfortunately, you never see each other again, and that's a real bummer. I've had that happen before. You become so close as a team, as a family, and then you just don't see some of you become friends, right? And you exchange numbers, you stay in touch, but sometimes it doesn't happen. You never see the person again, and that's it's really unfortunate sometimes. But that's one of the real downsides, bummers of that part of the industry when it happens. But then, so we talked about this. So living truthfully in imaginary circumstances in a creative way. That's what it is. But that's up to you. How creative you be with it. So it depends how much research you do and how much you know about the character and his background. If how well you know the script. How many times did you read the entire script from page to page? Did you read all the subtext? Did you find out about the other characters, what their motivations are? What's their relationship to you? How do they know you? You as you, not the character. You as you, because you are the character. There's no such thing as the character, because you're the character. You're not. You're not yourself until the role's done. You're not your. You know what I mean? Until you can turn it off at the end of the day if you're well trained enough and you're good enough. You can turn off the character when they call wrap for the day. If it's a movie, when they call wrap for the day, you guys put your 10, 12 hour day in, whatever it is. Then you can go back to being who you are in your real life. You're not a real person, fine. But some people have, lived the character, the method acting. They live the character until the entire movie's done. If there's some crazy criminal guy, they might be high strung for like, the entire 3 months or 2 months or however long it took to make the movie, which is hard, could be rough, but some tend to do that. But when you're super experienced, you don't have to do that anymore. And it's probably not recommended because you're going to put yourself through a lot of unnecessary stress, especially if you're a bad guy or if you're a really intense, mean guy who's going to be angry. Then you're going to go home, talk to your family angry, and you're going to be just different. So it's not recommended in that sense. But the listening and reacting, so that is the most important thing. If they ever say, what is one most important skill? That is the most important thing, uh, is listening. Because it's listening and reacting to a stimulus. And we do it every day in real life anyways. We listen. Somebody asks you a question, you know, and then you hear them and you answer, right? And you see movies sometimes. The one who's listening sometimes is the most fun one to watch, if you notice. It's not the one saying the lines, the one that has that keen look, that keen facial expression, that they're intensely listening. You sometimes find yourself drawn to watch those guys, right? It happens all the time. Check next time watch a movie, see how many times you find yourself, just looking and watching the one that's listening. I've seen that several times where I'm watching the guy listening. I go, this is amazing. And you can tell he's really focused and he's really into what he is doing. You know, he's giving his feedback. He's giving he's giving himself to his co-actor there. So listening is the number one most important thing. You got to be a good listener. You have to hear what the person is telling you, the other actor in front of you. Okay, what's he saying? What's he saying to me? How does it affect me? Why does it affect me in this way? And now how do I react? And what's he saying? You'll probably know going into the scene roughly because you're going to probably know the moment before, the scene before you just did, or the scene after, depending on where you are in the story, in the script, and in your shooting schedule. Most likely, you'll have an idea. And things you have to know, like in real life. In real life, do we answer somebody right away? No. We sit, we think about it for a second, and then we answer. Sometimes people say, "Well, you're not listening to me, that's why you didn't answer right away." It's like, no, I'm thinking about what you said. What's my honest reaction? You know, it's same thing. It's called it's in reacting, but it's called, you know, crossing the bridge. Crossing the bridge. So it's like your actor says this to you. Listen, hear, think about it for a second. Think about what you want to say. And it's crossing a bridge. It's about a couple seconds. It could be fast, but it's better if it's a couple seconds. Mull it over. Let the audience know. Let the audience see your facial expression. Let the audience see your pause. Be more intense and more thrilling to say, oh, what's he going to say next? Is he mad? Is he going to start yelling and screaming? Is he going to blow up here? Is he going to jump out of his chair and try and grab and kill this guy? Like, what's going to happen? What's his reaction? If you take your time with it and go slow, you're going to make the anticipation of the audience more. So someone says something, you just sit, think about it, analyze it, cross the bridge, and then say your final reaction. Whatever it is going to be. What's the guy coming there for? Depends on what he's giving. Is he coming into the scene already mad at you? Is he upset with you? Did you piss someone off? Did he piss you off beforehand? Did he just win the lottery? He wants to tell you about this because he wants to give you money. Does he owe you money and he knows you're going to ask him about it? Are you brothers? Are you brother sister? Are you father son? Mother daughter? You gotta know. You gotta know all those things too, and all that's going to factor in. Your new fictional real family. That is your new family. How do they push your buttons? What are they doing? Right? So, you sit there for instance, the guy's there, he comes in and says to you, even just something basic, say, what's up? What are you up to today? Like, what's up? What are you up to today? How you been? I haven't seen you for a while. And you can sit there and you can just, yeah, you're right. I haven't seen you for a while either. I'm doing pretty good. How you doing? Not just right away. Oh, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, and I haven't seen you for a while. That's holy smokes, man. That's way too quick, right? It's got to be that pause there, at least a couple seconds. So acting is listening and reacting. Acting is the most simplest. Listening and reacting to a stimulus, to stimuli, they call it to stimulus. Stimulus is just anything that the person says or does, whether he says something to you or whether he touches you. So that's a stimulus, any kind of stimulus. So living truthfully in imaginary circumstances, listening and reacting to a stimulus. Living truthfully in imaginary circumstances, an imaginative and creative way to get a point across, to an objective, to tell a story for a specific team of person, time, place, and thing. And that's in that entire part of the scene. So that is that, really acting. And then they say, some famous actor, I forget which one it was, acting's great. Acting is great, but never get caught doing it. That's the other thing. Where do they say acting is? Where they say less is more. Less is more. And that's true. You don't want to be caught acting. Acting is, you're big, you're moving too much, and you're giving too many facial expressions, and you're too big and too active. Okay, that's what they mean by being caught acting. It's too obvious. The audience will see it. For sure, the camera will see it, but mostly the audience will see it, and they're going to say, "Oh," and you see it all the time in reviews and people's posts about the acting in the movie. Like if they really, people went and they saw the movie, they'll say, "Oh, so and so was good, but so and so was overacted." Oh, they seem like they overacted. They're over exaggerating certain facial expressions. They're over exaggerating certain words. They seem too big. They seem to overact. If they say that you overacted, that's the audience. This is an audience. It's just a general audience member. That's not in the industry. They're not trained. They don't know what to look for. This is just an average person just sitting there watching the movie, and they can tell. So if an audience can tell, imagine what a professional person, a professional critic, or a professional, writer, or somebody in the industry is going to be saying to you about you on a review, right? You don't want to get any bad reviews as much as possible, at least. So if an audience member can say you're overacting, then You probably most likely are, because that means the camera saw it too. And if the camera catches you overacting, it's going to look really bad. As long as you got to think, it's a huge lens. It's a huge lens like this big, and it's right on you, really pretty close to you, anyways. And it picks up every little micro inch of you everywhere. And it can see everything on your face. It can see way back, far. Yeah, you can focus on extras. You can focus on a mole on an extra's face behind you yet. So you gotta be very still. You gotta be fairly still. You gotta act with your eyes. Keep your face straight. Keep everything kind of straight. You move your face a little bit, but you gotta just basically act through your eyes. Your eyes and your tone and your voice and the emotion through there by thinking. What am I saying? What's the reason why am I saying this? If I'm mad, you don't have to be yelling and screaming. You don't have to be freaking out if you're mad. You can just say something calmly, but they'll know that, oh, he's mad. He's saying it in a very sinister, quiet kind of way. Those are some of the most scary criminals you see on TV. The ones that are, you know, it's called playing against the grain. They don't play against their emotion. They play against it. And play against it, it actually way, 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 way better for you. So, instead of like it says, the scene says you blow up and freak out and yell and scream and swear at this guy and you're about to kill him. But and of course the script says this, so you want to do that. It's fun to yell, it's fun to scream, it's fun to get all sweaty and emotional, jump up and do this crazy stuff because it's exciting. But what if you didn't? What if you didn't, like, say, look at Anthony Hopkins playing Hannibal Lecter? Look how creepy he was. He said evil, but he didn't play evil. He didn't say he did it on purpose. He went against the grain. He didn't go, I'm evil, I'm going to play evil, I'm going to make these noises, I'm going to scream, I'm going to be intimidating. He wasn't intimidating. He just was a very educated guy that sat there um, talking calmly to Jodie Foster and just explaining what he does. Like, it was, I just happen to eat people. I'm a smart doctor or whatever. I just happen to eat people. Yeah, no big deal. It's because of this and because of that and whatever. And he's casual about it. He's not playing a crazy psycho guy. He just admitted that he likes to eat people, kill people, and eat people. And he's a cannibal. He's saying it so casually. You just scared as hell of him. You know that if somehow the mask came off of him and he got loose, you're dead meat. You're going to be eaten. And that's it. You're scared to death of this guy, hoping and praying he doesn't get loose. But nothing he did physically before that to give you an indication that he's going to flip out, right? So yeah, you play against the grain and all that, and you make sure that you don't get caught overacting. So again, live truthfully in your character, listen and react, live truthfully, tell the truth of what your character is in the imaginary circumstance. Don't get caught overacting. Be still, do the character, act through the emotions. Let the emotions come through. Let the emotions come through the body, out of your face, through the eyes. And then use your voice tones. Right? If you have to be a little bit louder, you can be louder without screaming because the mic is so powerful. That is, it's loud already anyway. You may just raise your voice a tiny bit, maybe a decibel or two. Maybe you lower it a couple of decibels if you want to be more intimidating and more chilling. If you have to, some you still see scenes where they yell and scream, and you might stop and do that sometimes. If it's really called for the scream, you can still yell and scream without overacting. Maybe just don't use your hands too much. Don't do too much moving with your shoulders and moving your face all over the place, like your eyebrows going up to here. Just keep everything kind of still in the frame. Live truthfully from moment to moment. So you're living truthfully in imaginary circumstances from moment to moment. What you're in the moment is that you're focused. That exact second, that exact moment in the scene. It's like you're there. It's like you teleport yourself in there. This is happening right now for real, in real time. This is my family. These are my people. I really live in the city. I am really a police officer. I am really investigating a crime. All of this is really happening to me, and that is it. And you focus on it until it is done. Until they say cut for the day or wrap for the day, then you can turn it off. If you can't turn it off, then you turn it off. And then you sit there and leave it, go home, do your life, see one of your kids, go have a nice meal, go have a nice sleep, whatever you're going to do. Maybe go out for a bit, go for a walk, clear your head, whatever you have to do. Show up the next day ready again. And then you're right back in. You're right back into New York City. You went from your apartment in Calgary or your apartment in Vancouver and Toronto or Winnipeg to the studio set. But all of a sudden you went from Winnipeg to New York. And just overnight, right? Now you're in New York City again. Well, how did that happen? I didn't even take a plane. I didn't even get a plane ticket. I didn't even fly there, but I'm in New York City, right? Going to your police office and putting on your gun, putting on your badge, and you're all set, ready to go again. Yeah, and that new life starts again for the next scene, for the next scene, for the next scene. Everywhere to You're probably going home, you're taking notes, you've got the scene before, the scene after, and all the research you've done in between, and you're all set. And, just living truth for the moment. You're interacting properly with the right emotions. And that's a good tip too, like I said, keeping in mind who's going against the grain. Like, if you're gonna cry, if it says down, you break down and cry, you could break down and cry sometimes necessary, and it does look good and still resonate well on film, TV shows and stuff. But what if, again, you played against the grain and you didn't cry? What if you made a choice, called something called choices, which will be more specific in a specific topic we'll talk about choices, just directly on what choices are and what they do. But say, what if you decide, you made a choice or decided, I'm not going to cry, Chris says I'm going to cry. What if you did a reaction where you're going to cry, but you're so heartbroken, you're so emotionally drained, you're so emotionally upset, you're so broken, you're so hurt that you can't, you kept it in kind of thing. You're just like, you feel it and you want to cry. You have a family member that's maybe dying of cancer or something, but you don't want to burst out because you don't want to let it go on. What if you fought against it? And yet only one tear come out, but you fought against it. And they can see that you're so distraught. I mean, wouldn't that be 10 times more powerful than actually just seeing somebody pulling their face off, right? Because that's been done. Been there, done that. We've seen crying scenes. We've seen people hysterical scenes. What if that? Like I said, the Anthony Hopkins type psycho. If you went against the grain there, they say in the script says you're a serial killer. You're a serial killer. You kill men and women, and you just for random pleasure or something's wrong with you, whatever the case may be. But you're an everyday guy, and nobody knows really too much that you're a serial killer or casual about it. But you're scary. I mean, wouldn't it be more scary if you're going to grab somebody? You're seeing that you're doing the scene, and you grab the person, and you're yelling, screaming at them, and you're intimidating them, and you're smiling, I'm a crazy guy, look at me, I'm psycho. People see that, they're going to know that, because the text says it. Everybody knows you're a killer, this stuff is. Or you're so casual, you're just like, as if you're talking to your brother or your best friend, you have a smile, you're just like, yeah, I'm just gonna grab you. I'll grab you. I think I'm gonna kill you. It's gonna grab you. I'm gonna stab you to death. I think, it's just gonna put my knife through you. See how it looks like. Cut your neck open. Really been spurting out, I don't know what that would look like again. Because I don't mind getting out of my shirt. That's way better than, oh, look like your hands on you, I'll kill you, I'll grab you, I'll stab you, I'll stick it through your face. I mean, it's, you know what I mean? See, the difference is there. So, I mean, that's generally the more acting. Acting is the biggest thing. What acting is, you won't ever get caught doing it. Have fun with it. And like I said, as long as you're listening and reacting, you're listening and reacting to the other actor, that's the most important thing. What is the most honest? It's the most honest reaction. It has to be. It has to ring true. It has to be true. Everything is about expressing the truth. It is the most number one important thing. Express the truth. What is the truth in the scene? What is the essence of the scene? What's the point? Why are you there? Why are you guys talking to each other? That's it. That's the whole thing. You're not going to listen and then you do a totally off the wall reaction. If he's like, hey, how you doing? I'm having a great day, and he's all happy and cheery, and then he says, asks you some, how's your day? How's things going? And everything's good. And all of a sudden, you just are all grumpy. What are you grumpy about? I'm not here. We're not here. We're not fighting. We're not in a fight. We're not in an argument. So it's totally off the wall from like, the scenes. The scene says you guys are both in a happy place. You guys are both cheering. You're both in a happy place. You guys are good buddies, and you're just like two guys, shooting the shit, whatever. Then good. But you can't give the wrong reaction. It has to be true because then you're going to be, the audience is going to be confused. What's going on here? Like, okay, this guy's overacting, or he's doing the wrong emotions. Like, they're going to still know. They might not, you know, be for sure know, but they're still going to ring. Audiences are smart, and they're going to know something's wrong. It's not going to ring true. I mean, what's the truth? It has to be the truth. So you have to react within the truth. That's it. Another most important thing. So listen, react within the truth, either through your body or saying lines or reacting through your body. Your body and what you say has to match. That's one other thing. What you say and what you do has to be the exact same thing. You can't be, um, you know, saying something happy, but your body is reserved. You're answering like you're happy, but you're sitting like this, like you're grouchy, but you're supposed to be happy. Your physical body has to match what you're saying, and they have to match. So that's some actors are really good at that. Kelsey Grammer and Fraser is super super good at that. You watch Fraser, you guys seen the show? It's an amazing show. It's not out anymore, but they still show the reruns. And I go back and I watch it. And I see like Kelsey Grammer was an amazing talent. Like you can see where his physical body, when he's standing, he's talking to his dad, or he's talking to his brother, David Hyde Pierce. What his body's doing and his facial expression, what he's gonna say, something's up, but they match. He's either gonna say something sarcastic and funny, or he's mad at him. I mean, you can tell something's up, but they match. John Ritter was good at that. There's company. His physical body matched what he was gonna say. Um, there's a few like that. You have to match what you're saying and doing, and something's up. There's either a punchline coming, or there's something sarcastic coming, what they're gonna say, or they're very angry about something. Something's coming up because the body speaks. The body and what you say has to match as well. So those are the most important points. So that is acting as a craft of the things you have to mostly be aware of. If you put all those little tools together, including, you know, doing your research, if you have to take lessons for something, you need to research a character, if you need to interview the real life guy, if there's a real life guy there, you have to research him and try to meet him and talk to him. If you have to learn a certain kind of walk, practice it, master the walk. If you have to learn an accent, master and learn an accent. If you got to take lessons, like I said, then take the lessons, whether it's like, if your character has a couple of fight scenes, you might want to take a boxing class. You might want to take a, 3 to 6 months karate taekwondo classes, whatever you need. If you got to learn to play guitar, maybe take a couple of months of guitar lessons, at least get a couple of chords down. Drums, flute, soccer, if you're into soccer, anything, you know. So you come that all together. Plus, if your character has to be in shape, maybe you get in shape. You know, if your character is heavier, you might want to do the method acting thing and actually get a little bit overweight, put the weight on. You can fake it with body fat suit and pillows and whatever else, and mostly body fat suits. But if you really want to authentically do it, if you're one of those authentic types, then you may want to gain weight. Maybe you have to eat a few extra a couple dozen donuts. But no, so that's pretty much the acting by definition, roughly definition. Some of it was the actual written definition. A lot of it was just I paraphrased it and added what the idea is. But the written definition actually is, it actually says in the book, says listening and reacting. Acting, listening, reacting to stimulus. Living truthfully in imaginary circumstances. And living truthfully in imaginary circumstances. That's the actual written definition. And then we have like adding, like I said, person, place, and time in an imaginative and dynamic manner. I'll go over dynamics at a specific time. It's another different thing. There's all kinds of things to that. But yeah, that's it in a nutshell. So I hope you guys liked this segment. If you want to subscribe, become a member, and get some of the videos. I'm also going on my channel. I'm going to be putting some films on here, some shorts, maybe a feature film. They're also going to come out on either DVD or festivals anyway. You guys could be happy to come and see it. I'm always working. So I love the industry. I've been doing it for almost 30 years. I think it's the greatest thing. I think it's great to be an artist. It's great to entertain crowds and audiences. And, get to tell these amazing stories. And there's some amazing stories out there that need to be told. You got some fantastic, amazing writers. They work their butts off to write some of this original work. Some of it's not original work, but it's maybe an original theme. And they need people like us to get it across to audiences, either in movie theaters or on stage, or in the movie stores, or streaming live on TV, whichever the case may be. We have an important job to do. And people are paying good money to stream, or people are paying good money into subscriptions, or they're paying good money in the movie theater. It's up to us to make sure that they're entertained and we're bang on with the content. What the writer's intent is that we capture it. The last thing you want to do is have an upset writer saying, you guys ruined my material. You guys didn't do it, or the director's disappointed that you didn't give him your whole 110%. Anyways, good talking to everybody. It's Johnny J. McKenzie, actor, coach. Here for you guys. Good talking to you. Until next time, we'll see you.